Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Hey, I talk to a lot of expats. I talk to a lot of other foreigners here, and it occurs to me that I like to call their origin stories. We like to share those amongst each other, Like, when was that? What was it like in that time when you found out that you wanted to move to Cambodia, and why did you want to move to Cambodia? And it's always great to hear from other people. And I got to tell you, some people's stories like that are very, very different. Their reasons are different than mine might be. So I want to go over some of those with you, and maybe help you figure out exactly why you want to move to Cambodia. But first, I want to let you know that if you like this video and you want to help support the channel, it's always very much appreciated. We could always use your help. And there are links down below for PayPal and Ko-fi.com if you want to donate that way. We always love it when you do. And you can purchase one or more of my books that you see on your screen there, and I have others as well. And there's a link down below for that if you want to do that and get yourself something nice along the way. So be sure to check out those links, and we always appreciate you. So, sometimes people have more than one reason why they want to move to Cambodia. I hear from a lot of Americans who are trying to escape the rat race over there. All the politics and all the bickering and all the back and forth. And it just becomes too much for them after a while, and that's the first reason why some people move over here, because it's just a laid-back, chilled atmosphere. It's not the same pressure here that you might get back in America to, I don't know how you would say it, submit to the norm, let's say. Once you reach this age, you should be married. You should be thinking about kids. You should have a mortgage and 3 overdue credit cards, and, buy yourself a new car once every 2 years, and struggle to make ends meet, the American dream, as they used to call it. And the fact is, it's just not feasible for most Americans now to do that, because of economic things and other reasons. And people just get discouraged from, they feel like they're running on a treadmill. I had one guy tell me, he just felt like he was just spinning a wheel, never really, working hard, trying to establish something, and just never seemed to get anywhere. And when you get here, you realize that pressure isn't there anymore, because there's no requirement, there's really no normal way to live here. You're not expected to come here and meet someone and fall in love and get married and have kids or buy a house or do anything. You want to do all those things, that's great. You're more than welcome to, but there's no expectation. There's no pressure put on you to behave a certain way, because that's what society expects of you when you're here. And they just love that. As I've said in other videos, it's a lot more freedom here in the truest sense of that words than you would find in other countries, like back in the West. And a lot of people just really, really love that feeling. I can honestly say that it is very mentally more relaxing here than it was, because of all those pressures you have. And over here it's just chill, man. You can just chill, do what you want with the budget you have, and you'll be all right. And a lot of people, that they move over here specifically for that, and that's kind of their reasoning, But another factor is somebody told me that they felt Cambodia had, moving to Cambodia to them felt like getting in on an early, like, ground floor opportunity, because they've watched over the years how many improvements and things have happened in this country since the last time they visited, or since the last time they checked on things. And I can say again that is very true. Cambodia has always grown. So when I look back, when I was here almost 8 years ago, when I first moved here, and all the improvements that have been made since then, it's just incredible. It's something you don't think about while it's happening, if you're right in the middle of it like I am. But it's when you look back and the way it was then with certain things and the way it is now, you see that there have been massive improvements in things like infrastructure and things like internet speed and things like the reliability of electricity, improvements in roads and sidewalks and buildings, and most importantly, they have an initiative to go like as digital as they can on most things here, which even when I moved here that long ago wasn't always the case. Like when I first moved here, cash was king. You needed cash for almost everything, pass apps and tuk-tuk rides and mom and pop stores and local markets. For the main part, you needed cash. And now everywhere you go, including tuk-tuk rides and pass apps and local markets and mom and pop stores, they have all these badges hanging down with QR codes for almost any kind of debit card you can think of. Local banks, they're all hooked up to all the local banks. If you have a MasterCard or Visa, most places will take that now. So even if it's not from a local bank, as long as it's a MasterCard or Visa debit card or whatever, you'll be set there. And it's not a priority to carry all the cash that you need every month, like I used to do. I used to get as much as I thought I would spend every month out of the ATM, and then just take what I needed when I went out. But of course, there's always dangers in that because you have all the cash hanging out in your apartment, right? But nothing bad ever happened there. But it's just much better now that as long as you have a debit card or a bank card or something that has money in there, you don't really have to carry cash like you used to have to. And I remember walking down some sidewalks that were so tore up and lumpy, and they had big gaping holes right in the middle, and somebody would put a stick in there, like that's their warning sign, which did no good at night if you're walking. And so everything's been improving over the years, and it does feel like you got it on a ground floor opportunity, because it's just improving all the time. They have so many initiatives that I read about every week, things they're going to accomplish in the future, and I fully believe they will, because once they commit to something, they actually just go for it, And so it feels like, people sometimes worry about moving to a developing country, but the thing is, as long as that country is developing, like it's not staying in a constant state of decay or poverty, they're always trying to make improvements like Cambodia does, then it's just great, because you can see it kind of grow up in front of your eyes, and you can get to be a part of it and everything, and a lot of people like that. They like that feeling of being in the middle of it, So that's a good reason, of course, to move here. And for some people, it's purely financial, and that is another reason, although it's not my main reason. But for some people, it is. They're on a very limited amount of money every month, and back where they come from, they can't afford their rent, they can't afford their food, they can't afford any extra things they might want, simply because there's not enough money to go around, and they're always in debt, or they're always going broke. And here, that limited amount of money, even $800, $900, $1,000 a month, you'll save money every month. You can just live here without having to worry about all that. You don't have to make a choice between paying your rent and buying food for the week or whatever. And so financially, this country is very inexpensive to live. Things have gone up. There is inflation here, but not significantly, as I've said in other videos. And it's still one of the most affordable countries you can retire to. And speaking of which, a lot of people like it because of how the ease of accessibility here. It is so easy to get here. It's so easy to retire here. Just be 55, and you can live here for the rest of your life, renewing your visa extension once a year for $300, and you can live here as long as you want, as long as you keep doing that. And getting here is not a problem. You can get a visa on arrival. You can get one in advance if you want. You can, and I think there's only there's a handful of countries that have other requirements attached to entry. But as far as Western country goes, there are none. So if you decided tomorrow you wanted to just spontaneously hop on a plane, come over here and live, you could do that and there wouldn't be an issue. There's not really a whole lot of planning you need to do once you have everything settled back home, except to get on the plane and get here and start living, So a lot of people like that, because there are some countries where the just getting in, especially if you're going to live there long term, it just gets ridiculous with their rules and regulations and their stipulations, and you have to show proof of this and proof of that, and it just gets to be a hassle. You got to report to government officials once every so often, and a lot of people, they just find that to be a big hassle. But here it's very easy. You just show up and you live, basically. You get your first visa. It's good for 30 days. Get your extension for a year at a time and you're set. And so the ease of moving to a different country, it takes away a lot of the stress when there's not a lot of qualifiers to actually do that, I think. And that's why a lot of people like moving to Cambodia. And as I said, not all of these things are necessarily my reasons, but they all add up to being very good reasons overall. And the one thing I think everybody agrees on that spent any amount of time in Cambodia would simply be that, when you move to a different country, you want to be sure you're going to be safe. And Cambodia is extremely safe for foreigners. There's not a lot of crime here at all. People watch out for you. The locals here, as I said, everybody will tell you, the locals here are some of the best people you'll ever meet. They're friendly, they're welcoming, they're giving. They love getting to know you. They love getting to ask you questions about where you're from and what your life was like back there, and they love when you when they see that you're trying to fit in locally, you eat the local food, you learn some of the words, and they're just very happy when that happens, because there are Western options for everything here. More Western style options for food and living and everything, but they love when you're assimilating to the culture, I guess. And it tends, and they will watch out for you. They will, they'll take care of you if you have any issues. There's always somebody there willing to help you with anything you might need, whether it's directions or just finding out where you can buy something. They're more than willing to just go out of their way to help you, because that's just the way they are. Culturally, it's 96% Buddhist, 97% Buddhist, but religion isn't a big deal here. It's not you know, forced on you or anything, and you're not considered less than if you don't believe in a certain religion or spiritual path. You know, they just don't. That's just not a thing to be upset about here, and so they go out of their way to just make you feel welcome, no matter who you are, what your circumstances are, or anything else. Yeah, so those are some of the reasons I've heard from other people why they love living here. And I don't know, let me know your reasons in the comments below. And be sure to check out all my links. As I said, I have PayPal and Ko-fi.com. I have all my books down there, other channels that you might want to watch if you're thinking about moving here. All those links are down below because they have good information, and you might want to check those out because they make some pretty good videos. All right, from Siem Reap, Cambodia, I will talk to you guys in the next one.